Saltburn is a comedy drama thriller written and directed by Emerald Fennell. A student at Oxford University finds himself drawn into the world of
You think you'll go home?
an
Honestly?
aristocratic classmate who
Home
invites
doesn't
him
mean the
to
same for me as it does for you,
family's sprawling
Phoebe.
estate for a summer never to be forgotten. The runtime is 131 minutes. The film's rating is R in color. Stars Barry Keoghan. So Saltburn. This was the second film I saw last night, and that film I saw after Godzilla -1, which I absolutely freaking love that movie. So Saltburn, I think I saw a trailer for it. It looked very artistic. It looks very art housey. Of course, if you know art house films, you can very much tell what an art house movie would look like. It has the same eccentric, but it has a wild side to it. It's like a lion. There's things that are in it that you're like, oh shit, whoa, alright. And for me, I'm not that easily buffaloed, so there's certain moments that would get reactions out of people. I'm very much like, oh wow, there you go. And this movie will make you, in a way, especially if you see this film with a crowd, especially a packed theater, which I did, thankfully. The reactions of the theater was definitely a fun side of this movie, because there's some wild moments in the movie that could definitely be too much for some people, but for me, I'm not that easily buffaloed, so I'm fine with it. But there was moments where I was sitting next to somebody, and that somebody was like, "Oh my god," reacting to what's on screen. But this film is, of course, this is Emerald's second film after doing Promising Young Woman, and this film has a lot of style to it. Everything about this movie is pretty solid, down to the screenplay by her. She knows how to write movies, and her first film she got an Oscar for her screenplay, and this is no other. The dialogue is very good. The story is interesting. I would say it's not like a story film where there's things going on that's gonna be any interesting, but it is interesting. It's like it's like a party pretty much. You're in this big house with some friends, and it's like they're just having fun. It's the summer, and it's fun. And I gotta say, I did enjoy this movie from beginning to end. It's funny. There's wild moments that, to me, I found humor for. Because there was a moment specifically. There was like 3 moments while watching the movie where I'm like, oh my god, well, in a way laughing, because it's like, that is, wow, my, and it's fun. I had a damn good time with this movie, and also just the dialogue and the characters and just the performances by everybody's pretty damn good. Specifically, the main guy, Barry Keoghan, who plays the character of, Oliver Quick, who's in the beginning very shy, very, he's on his own, but he sees the good-looking Felix, and he has a fond of him and wants to be friends with him. And Barry Keoghan is an amazing actor, and just every film that Barry Keoghan is usually in, he's very good at. And Barry Keoghan plays a very interesting character. I would consider this character a wild card, because he does certain things where you're like, oh my god, whoa. And the man knows, I guess, how to persuade people in very interesting manners. And I thought the character of Barry Keoghan is a wild card. Like, you don't know what's going to happen with this character. And he does a lot of he makes a lot of interesting decisions, and I thought Barry Keoghan's performance is really good. He does a very good job in this. You got Jacob Elordi playing his friend Felix Cotton, the rich man, the rich boy with his family, owns this estate, and he's the lovable guy. Everybody loves being with him. Everybody loves being around him. He's also a woman's man, and yeah, he gets fond of Barry Keoghan. They become best friends. And yeah, Jacob Elordi's really good. I've seen him in freaking Euphoria. He's like the asshole in that movie. And in this movie, he plays not an asshole. He plays an actual cool, likable dude. He's having fun. And yeah, I thought Jacob Elordi's really good. I think he's great in this movie. And I just like the two of them. When they're on screen, they do good work. And I think they both did a great job. And I'd say the antagonist of the film, because he is the one stirring things up, you got Archie Marque playing Farley Stark, who's just being mean to Oliver Quick, trying to ruin things, and trying to make him do things that he wouldn't want to do, and just being mean, always finding a way to mean talk him in a way, either the way he dresses or just the way he acts. He finds a way to be mean to this character. But yeah, I thought the guy's great. He's an American guy. He doesn't have an English accent. He's American, and that, and also he's part of his friends. He's one of the friend group, and he stays with the family, and I guess has family friends, or I think, what's his name? Felix's parents are close friends with Archie's parents, I think, like that. And yeah, the characters, you don't like the character. He's just mean, and you don't like him, but in a way, kind of funny. And yeah, he's good too. You also got Felix's sister, played by Sadie Silverall, playing Annabelle. And she has a fond for Barry Keoghan in this movie. Looks at him and says, "Man, you know why I like you? Because you're just very real." And you get a little fond of each other. And yeah, she's good in the movie. She's good too. And a great character in this movie. She's really amazing. Rosamund Pike, playing Elspeth Cotton, the mother of Felix. And yeah, man, Rosamund Pike is amazing in this movie. She's really good. She's one of the best parts of this film. Of course, I think the next person to me that was just amazing was Richard E. Grant as Sir James Cotton. And man, he's amazing. He's also just in the movie, just always smiling, having a good time. And yeah, he's great. I love seeing Richard E. Grant. He's always great in everything that he's in. And I love Richard E. Grant. This movie kind of made me look at Richard E. Grant like, yeah, man, I love this guy. He's awesome. He's just happy, man. He's always smiling. He's always just in a good mood type stuff. But yeah, things happen where his mood shifts in a way. And you also got a short appearance of Carey Mulligan as the poor dear Pamela, who's going through personal things. And yeah, it's cool seeing Carey Mulligan. She's great. Making a return, I guess, with this director. And yeah, it's cool seeing her. And the performances are amazing. Direction by Emerald Fennell is really good. This film is just very well made, just down to just the technical levels. The chemistry between everybody's great. The whole group of friends, they all look like they're having a good time. Everybody's doing good. But and specifically Barry Keoghan and Jacob Elordi, when they're on screen, they do a very good job, and everybody has good chemistry. The cinematography is probably the high spot by Linus Sandgren, who was the DP for films like La La Land, First Man, and No Time to Die. And this is such a well shot movie. If you don't like the story, if you don't like the certain aspects of it, you cannot deny that this is a beautiful movie to look at. Like, maybe too beautiful to look at, in a way where it's like, when they, there's some gritty things going on, but it looks great. Like, everything looks perfect in this movie, where sometimes it can be too much, where it's like, you want a little grit and dirt in a movie, where it's not everything needs to look perfect, and not everything needs to look like a freaking, especially when it's like there's shots of like men shirtless. It's very homoerotic in a way, where you're like, oh shit, they're very sensual with when they're showing the men and their bodies and shit. Like it's a good shot movie. I'm not saying it's perfectly shot, but maybe too perfect in a way. The score by Anthony Willis, who did he did the score for the movie, the video game actually, Knack It, the TV film How to Train Your Dragon, Homecoming, and Promising Young Woman. And yeah, the score for this film is really good. It's a very well composed movie. It has the little classical score to it, and it's great. It's a very well composed movie. The editing by Victoria Boydell, who was the editor for movies like Belle, The Windermere Children, and Rye Lane, recent film that came out. And yeah, it's very well edited. 2 hours that goes by pretty fast. Everything that's happening in the film is interesting. It's engaging, and yeah, it's pretty well edited. The production design is incredible by Susie Davis, who did the TV film Christopher and His Kind, The Zookeeper's Wife, and The Courier. The production is great. Production designing is amazing. Everything looks great. The house build is just fantastic, and everything production-wise is, you can tell they put a lot of the budget is showing in this movie. And yeah, it's everything technically is really solid. I enjoyed this movie, I'm not gonna lie. I had a good time watching the film, and it's wild. It's a wild movie, especially seeing it with a bunch of people made it more fun in a way. I feel like seeing it by yourself could maybe be a little detrimental, because there's certain scenes that should be seen with a crowd. I do believe that. There's certain moments like Joker, like that final scene, the talk show scene where should absolutely be seen with a bunch of people. There's just certain moments in this movie that I'm just glad I saw with a bunch of people because just the reactions, and it was just fun, and it was also just a very funny movie, especially towards the end where a lot of tragic things occur, and I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie, I had fun. I do believe there's the wild moments were definitely. I feel like the wild moments were trying to be wild. Like they're trying to be wild with this film, and it could easily. Some people might be fine with it, and some people this might be like it's like a Reservoir Dog cutting the ear type of moment, where it's like some people watch that and be like, I don't think I want to see this and leave, but. I'm not easily buffaloed, so I can deal with certain moments. Because there's some certain moments where you're like, it's quite wild. I'm not gonna lie. Where it's like, oh, I personally wouldn't have done that, respectfully. And there's certain scenes that when you watch it, that you'll definitely know. And one thing about this movie definitely is that I got the song "There's a Murder on a Dance Floor" stuck in my head. And if you know, now you know. But as a film rating, I'm gonna give it a solid 3 out of 5 stars, man. I'm not gonna lie, I had a great time. It's funny, it's very well written. The dialogue is really solid. The film is good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. So I had a good time going to the movies. That's what matters. And I think you guys should see Saltburn. I would recommend seeing it with a crowd, though. If you see it with a bunch of people, those wild moments will hit harder. I think. Anyways, Saltburn, another good film by Emerald Found.